Kia ora everyone. Friday was tough and I knew coming into today that I needed to reset. You know, confidence in trading is everything. And, you know, I felt that hesitation in the moment. I missed good setups. My first two trades were red and, I really had to work hard to get it back. So it wasn't a big green day. But after taking a hit, sometimes you just need to prove to yourself that you can execute your trades well. And today I'll break down my mindset, my trades, and how I plan to recover from that drawdown on Friday. So my first trade was on MLGO, and I took a $16 loss on that. And then I got randomly filled 100 shares and then 100 shares a few minutes later, I didn't realise. And I took a $6 loss on that trade there. So if I have a quick look at MLGO, I think this one here should be fine. I'll bring out the chart here. It had just pushed up. I missed the entry on the first push to break, and really the entry here probably wasn't a good idea, especially with the topping tail here. So that just shows that it's pushed up and been pushed all the way back down. So coming in here probably wasn't really a good strong entry. I should have been looking at the topping tail. That red candle's quite big, and it didn't work anyway. It failed straight away, so I stopped out straight away as soon as it came down near my stop. Did actually push right down and then come back up, I think, and then I got out. And then my next trade was on the break of the VWAP. I bought in here, only got filled 100 shares for some reason, and then I got filled another 100 down here again. But it was going sideways, and I've got kind of a new rule where if I'm in the trade for too long, I'm just getting out. If it's not going in the right direction and it's not hitting my stop either, I'm just going to get out of it. Last week on Friday, I was holding too long in trades, and what was happening is I was getting caught in flushes because I was like, oh, I'll just hold it. It hasn't hit my stop yet, or it's just over my stop. It might come back up, and then it got boom, flush, and then I'm down 70, 100 bucks. So decided that one way to reduce that risk is if my trade's not working, I need to get out sooner. So that's why I've got out there, and it basically break even. So that was MLGO, the first couple of trades. My next trade was on XHLD. So XHLD, I took a couple of trades on this. They weren't pretty trades. The problem with XHLD for me was that it was a bit of a grinder. It was quite heavily traded, and I have a bit of trouble reading those types of stocks. So if I bring up that one there, XHLD, the chart. So I got in on this pullback here. If I bring here, so it had pushed up, and I thought I'll jump in here, get that pullback, and I looked for the push higher, breakthrough to that next leg. It didn't push higher, it pulled back. Now I was in at 220, around 220, and it pulled back to about down here to about 211, 212, and pushed higher. I didn't take the exit there, probably should have, and then it pulled back. And this is why this trade wasn't very good. I averaged down. So I bought back in here, looking for support off the VWAP, and it eventually did push, and I got out up here at 225. So this was actually my biggest winner, this trade here. Today it was, what was it, 13 cents a share, so about $26 in profit. So that was my biggest trade, but it wasn't very pretty. It was pretty not a very confident trade. But it got me back into the green, and I decided after that I wasn't going to trade this stock again. I was just wasn't like in sync with this stock, and it's so hard when there's you know, stacked buyers and sellers on the level 2. So yeah, I'm not very good at reading those ones. Still have a lot to learn with that one. So the next trade I took was probably my most confident trade. It was on MLGO. Now, MLGO, this at pre-market when I got up, popped up here. I traded this here and, you know, got stopped out on there, and then I traded, well, it was in this consolidation period, which I just got out of, and then it popped up here. So it sort of popped up here and looked like it was going to come up and break through that previous pivot there at 383. So just looking at breaking through, oops, can't draw. Looking at breaking through this level here at 383. So I bought this pullback here, and I got in pretty much on the bottom tick, pretty close to it anyway, and then it pushed up through 369, 370 up to 378. So it was a good trade. It was a confident trade. I bought in confidently on here because it had some previous resistance. It was a previous resistance line at 358 around there, and I'll show you on the video actually. This will probably be a bit better. So this is MLGO. It's popped up here 373. It's pulling back, and I'll just play it at double the speed. So it's come down here to the 9 EMA, and I want to buy in off that level. So I put my order in, and it comes down and fills, and I'm in. So I was looking at support through this level here of these resistance off of these candles here on the left. So previous sort of resistance there, which will turn into support on this trade here. Also, it was around the 9 EMA, and it was around sort of the $half mark as well, around 350s, 358. So I got in there at 359, and then it started pushing higher, and there it popped there, and I'm waiting for it to push. Initially, I thought it would push back through over 373 and break this level here, and it is struggling a bit, but sort of MLGO sort of moves like that. Its price action is kind of a bit choppy, so not the cleanest stock or the easiest stock to trade, and also with this stock you have to be careful because it pulls back quite a long way after a strong push, so it almost reclaims almost all the push that it's had. It did that previously in pre-market at the start around 7 o'clock. It pushed up and then it came all the way back down. So this time it's, you know, pushing up. I'm still holding here, and it's being a bit indecisive which way it's going to go. But then it pushes up to 369. So around 10 cents is sort of my, you know, I can take profit there. So I'm like, no, it's not really being that strong, so I'm going to get out at 369. I put an order in on the ask, and it got filled as it broke through 370. So I left a little bit on the table with that one. If I had held and not put the order in, I might have got filled a bit higher, possibly, you know, 376, 375. I doubt I would have got 377. That would have been pretty amazing if I pushed my button to sell on the ask and it got filled at 377. Wouldn't have got filled at 378, that's for sure, probably. But I was happy with that trade. I got, what was that? That was $20 off that trade, so 10 cents a share. So I was really happy with that. That was probably the best trade I did that day. So the next trade I took, the last one, was on CAPS, CAPS. I should not have traded that at all. So if I have a look at the chart here, CAPS is, actually if we just bring it up on Trader View, and actually I've been mucking around in here a bit. So CAPS after the open, is that today? Pretty sure it is. Oh goodness, what am I doing? Yeah, there we go. So this thing popped up from 287 up to 377 and then came down and then up again. I came in about here. So I looked at the VWAP breaking at this level here. I missed getting out on that pop, and really it was only 10 cents. And there was a bit of a wider spread, and then it pulled back and sort of went into consolidation for a bit before it really ripped. So I got in on this candle here. This is my entry. So it had just pulled back. I was looking for it to break up through VWAP and push higher, which it did, but I missed the entry on here. The spreads were a little bit wider. They were sort of ranging quite wildly between, you know, like 4 cents to 10 cents. And I didn't think I was going to get a fill on that. And then it dipped all the way down to 310, and I was in at 330. So that wasn't great. And then finally it pulled back up and then broke the VWAP here, and I got out around 339, 340. I was just happy to be out with some profit. So yeah, it wasn't the best idea, because what happened through this area here, it was like the volume just disappeared to the long side. They still ended up green, but just light and real choppy, just went all over the place through this section. I think it did eventually rip, obviously, on here. It did eventually. I probably got out on this candle here at about 10:32, and it, you know, basically, you know, 5-6 minutes later, it's breaking through VWAP finally and heading up to $4.17. So I didn't hold it that long. It just looked too risky for me, and I thought there was a good possibility of it breaking down and I'd get caught in flush like last week. So I got out of that one with $16 profit, so got out with 8 cents. So not bad in the end. Yeah, so basically my stats for today, 7 trades in total, 4 in the green, 3 red, and a risk reward ratio of 2.45, which is really good. Accuracy not so great, 57%. Usually I'm over 60, but today it was a bit rough and very hesitant on getting in and out of trades, especially getting in, and I have a bit of a tendency to get out too early anyway on trades, so there was that as well. So $50 to start the week. Started the week in the green, so hopefully keep that going. And yeah, it's Now it's about sticking to my recovery plan. So, you know, had a drawdown last week, was down $360 roughly, and you know, I need to stick to my best setups. I need to trade the obvious stock, so the leading gapper, and the leading gapper that meets my stock criteria. So price between $2 and $20, $2 to $10 is probably better. It's up over 10% on the day, and you know, has high relative volume, so lots, you know, good volume in it, so can get in and out of trades easily, and you know, so your trades actually you know, resolve. So if there's lots of people trading the same stock, then your trades are more likely to resolve, or your patterns, or your chart patterns, and your entry points and stuff like that. It's more people trading, you know, more chance of that happening. And having a low float as well, sort of like low float under 10 million shares, around 5 million is quite good. And also I'm limiting my trades, so I'm only trying to take about 5 trades a day, and that way I'm not going to overtrade. And also, if I find myself, you know, 3 trades in the red, then that's it for the day. I'll have to walk away. Otherwise, I start getting into, I have to trade myself out of the red, and that's when I get in trouble. So also walking away when I've got profit. So if I hit my daily goal of over $50, then I'll walk away. And that's what I did today. I got $50 and I stopped. That was it. That was my last trade. It was also, you know, I sort of traded a couple more than 5 trades, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. So not a massive green day today, but you know, definitely a step in the right direction. And the hesitation cost me, you know, some big opportunities, but you know, I stuck with it and I finished green. So that was good, which is, you know, really what I needed after Friday's setback. You know, and I know I'm probably not the only trader who's had their confidence shaken. So, you know, if you've hesitated after entry, hesitated on entries, or, you know, a red day or anything like that, just let me know in the comments, and how you pushed through it, how you got over that hurdle and recovered from that red day, or that knock in your confidence. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's keep building. All right, ka kite, hei a popo.